What's up, besties and homies? It's your girl Aisha checking in, back with another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Strong Friends Check-In Podcast. So today I want to talk about spiritual warfare, breaking free from the witches and warlocks in your family. And so we know that spiritual warfare is the war between good and evil. A witch is a person, especially a woman, who is credited with having unusually malignant supernatural powers. So it could be an aunt, sister, cousin, or mother. Now, I want to emphasize that supernatural does not necessarily mean that the person is flying around on a broom or waving a wand. A witch never has to wave a wand or do anything necessarily that you would consider extraordinary or mystical or magical. And I'll explain that more as we continue our conversation. A warlock is a male witch. It is a man practicing the black arts, a sorcerer. So that could be an uncle, brother, cousin, father. So the same applies to a warlock, a male witch. He does not have to do anything that you might deem mystical or magical. Let's talk about how these generational curses begin and continue throughout generations. So let's start with the baby. Okay, so what people don't realize is that oftentimes individuals are targeted by witches and warlocks before they're born. Someone could have an evil agenda against an individual before that child is even born. So by the time that child is born, that child is already born into a situation where he or she is being targeted by these witches and warlocks. A baby could be targeted due to infighting and hatred within the family. So this innocent baby is being born into this family where there is constant fighting and no one in the family knows how to love. So that could be the start of this level of trauma for someone. It could start, like I said, before the baby's even born. Then there's also racial trauma or colorism. So a baby could be targeted because he or she is dark skinned or he or she is light skinned. It just depends on the family. Some families don't like dark skinned people and some families don't like light skinned people. I mean, it's just a reality. So that could be a factor. Or they could have been after the baby's innocence. So we have to remember that those who practice evil are given over to reprobate minds. So they do not discriminate. They will target anyone for evil. Then there is the situation that starts in youth. It may start when a child has reached school age, for example. A witch or a warlock could start inflicting trauma on a child in that age group or at that grade level. And it could be because the witch sees the child's potential to break the curse. The agenda is to dim the child's light and to keep the child with them or beneath them. So, in other words, these witches and warlocks don't want that child's potential to grow. They don't want that child to grow into a healthy, high functioning adult. They want to keep people inside of that generational curse. Also, the child's character is offensive to them. So oftentimes these witches and warlocks see the innocence of a child, see this bright light, this twinkle in this child's eye, and they recognize that the child actually has better character than they do. And so that child becomes a target. Now we have to understand that evil is an indoctrination. It's indoctrination, okay? People are indoctrinated into the kingdom of darkness by sadistic individuals with evil agendas. The mind is a gateway to the soul. If one can poison your mind, he or she can poison your soul. And so this is where I go back to the statement that I made about brooms and wands and mystical and magical and all of that. What you need to understand is that all a witch has to do is speak negatively over a child's life. It could just start with that little seed of someone in your family speaking negatively over your life, speaking darkness, speaking death, trying to discourage you, because words have power. And these witches and warlocks understand that the mind is a gateway to the soul. They understand that. That's why it's called indoctrination, because people have to gain control over your mind and your thoughts. They have to feed you false doctrine to get you under their control. So it's no different than indoctrination into a cult, religion, or other social group. People struggle with living healthily because they have been consuming the wrong things and feeding the wrong things. If you feed evil, it will grow. If you starve or resist evil, it will flee. People become witches and warlocks after consuming evil for an extended time. There is only so much the human soul can take. So the witches in your family have reprobate minds. They choose darkness over light. They despise every source of light energy. They choose evil over good. A perfect example would be scapegoating. The scapegoat in the family is a source of light. Scapegoats represent everything good and right, so witches and warlocks target them because they want the family to stay cursed. Leaving is the only way to break the curse. If you want to be free and be an agent of freedom and liberation, you must separate yourself from those individuals and everyone attached to them. Generational curses exist because most people are afraid to leave toxic families. They feel a blind allegiance to family. I think you need to redefine family, because witches and warlocks have no moral code. They love no one. They are loyal to no one. They do not value life. They do not value you. I will always choose my life and God's divine plan for my life over a dysfunctional family. Only those who do the will of my Father in heaven are my family. They are people who have the capacity and desire to love simply because God is love. Break free from the witches and warlocks in your family. Don't make an announcement, just leave. Trust God and live your best life. That is my message. Know that you are worthy. Know that you are loved. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, it's your girl, Aisha, signing off.